But the WNBA All-Star Game ratings have come out, and all I could think of right off the bat was 4 little letters. F-A-F-O. F around and find out. You bleep around and find out what this league looks like without Caitlin Clark being involved in your biggest events.
They claimed the WNBA playoffs would be fine without Caitlin Clark Wright. Just like the Titanic was fine after hitting the iceberg. The moment she was gone, ratings didn't merely dip, they plummeted off a cliff without a parachute, and fans vanished faster than free pizza in a college dorm. Now the league's standing in the dark, wondering who flipped the switch, because if this is fine, I'd hate to see what bad looks like.
Liberty is playing the best style of basketball. They are playing the best basketball currently in the WNBA. And when they just had a nationally televised game on ESPN against the Chicago Sky, against Angel Reese, who was one of the biggest names in the WNBA, they had around 600,000 viewers, which is so low. You cannot make fans watch what they don't want to watch. But all we heard last year is if the fans were only watching the Indiana Fever, only watching games Caitlin Clark was playing in, then they weren't real fans and they didn't like basketball. And you just had so much media and WNBA personalities and even players just shunning the new fans.
Right now, the WNBA feels like it's stuck in demo mode primetime. Supposedly high-stakes playoff games that have all the excitement of watching beige paint dry in slow motion under bad lighting. The reason? The league's star power has practically evaporated over the past few weeks, leaving the stage set but no real headliners to keep fans locked in.
Fever Sky tickets dropped 71% on TickPick after Caitlin Clark injury. The get-in price for the Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever game was $86. After Caitlin Clark's injury announcement is now down to $25. And you Angel Reese fangirls will still believe and think that Angel Reese is the reason why people are watching the WNBA. Since y'all want to make it about race, this white girl over here is the reason why fans are tuning in to watch the WNBA.
First, Caitlin Clark, the golden ticket, the walking headline, the reason half of America even remembered the WNBA existed, is gone. Not had an off night gone, but injured and out of the playoffs gone. She was the one player who could turn a game into an event, and the moment she was sidelined, roughly 70% of the TV audience disappeared, only slightly less than the number of people who walk out of a theater when the projector dies.
So check this out. The game on June 7th, the tickets were originally $86. Same seats, now $25. After her injury announcement, 71% drop in price. Over 71% drop in price. Because she's not going to be in the game.
Then Angel Reese, the drama queen of the court and a one-woman social media engagement machine, vanished too. Injured, out, gone. It's as if the WNBA's biggest names made a secret pact to see just how dull things could get if they all decided to take a vacation at the exact same time.
You see, this is exactly what we were talking about. WNBA All-Star ratings are in for 2025, and it is down 40%. 40% from last year. That's bad. That is really bad. We already watched the ticket prices drop by more than 50% because Caitlin Clark was not playing. This is bad news for the WNBA.
And as if the basketball gods were running their own roast, Sydney Coulson gone. Ari McDonald gone. And now, for the cherry on top of this train wreck Sunday, Lexi Hull just went down too. That one wasn't even bad luck. It was referee-induced carnage. The officiating has been so questionable lately that in any other profession, HR would have already walked them out of the building with their stuff in a cardboard box. Hull's injury feels like the league equivalent of a waiter dumping hot soup in your lap and then charging you for the refill.
If you consult the graph that I've just posted here, you'll see that nobody is watching the WNBA. That's the reason why the WNBA isn't making... Oh, sorry, I missed a few of them. So this is the reason why the WNBA isn't making any money, and they're not getting paid. It gets worse.
The injuries aren't just bad, they're catastrophic. At this point, every game feels less like a battle for the win and more like a survival challenge to see who can make it through without shredding a ligament. The replacements? They're pulling about as much attention as a live broadcast of grass growing, and the ratings race would be close. The TV audience didn't just shrink. It evaporated. We're talking empty seats, hollow arenas, and vibes so flat you can hear the basketball echo with every bounce. This is supposed to be sports entertainment, but the entertainment just got yanked out like a cheap battery from a dollar store remote. Right now, the WNBA is basically trying to sell front row tickets to a concert after firing the headliner and replacing them with the sound guy humming into a microphone.
Given Clark's unprecedented star power, her being confined to the Fever's Gainbridge Fieldhouse sidelines was always going to impact ratings, and she was actually there. It was her team. And the fans sent a clear message.
The officiating, don't get me started. This season's refs have been calling games like they skimmed basketball's Wikipedia page 5 minutes before tip-off. Half the time they blow the whistle, no one in the arena, not even them, knows why. The other half, they wave off dangerous plays like they're nothing, and then people act surprised when players end up sidelined. At this rate, the league might as well add ref injury liability to the official stat sheet. The bigger problem is that without its top stars, the WNBA's main selling point has basically become, come watch the backups try their best while we pray nobody else's knee explodes. And that's just not going to cut it. This isn't random bad luck, it's systemic. When your product leans almost entirely on a handful of stars, you've got a structural problem. The league has milked Clark, Reese, and a few others so hard for ratings that the moment they vanished, the whole operation collapsed like a tent with no poles.
Person who really should get all the blame is Kathy Engelberg. Yes, this is Kathy Engelberg's doing. You know why? Because she has incompetent referees.
What's left now are games that feel like glorified preseason scrimmages stretched across national broadcasts. Fans tune in expecting fireworks and get sparklers in a windstorm. The WNBA right now is like going to Disneyland only to find Space Mountain closed, Mickey Mouse calling in sick, and the churros stand out of sugar. It's brutal and not just a short-term headache. If the league can't figure out how to keep fans hooked without leaning on the same 3 names, they're cooked. Because here's the truth. Injuries happen in sports. But when they happen in the NBA, the show still rolls because the league has layers, storylines, rivalries, stars ready to keep momentum going. Without that depth, the WNBA is staring down a future of shrinking crowds, fewer broadcasts, and endless remember when Caitlin Clark was playing. Nostalgia reels. And when that day comes, no amount of motivational hashtags is going to save them.
Well, lads, the All-Star ratings were confirmed, and I have to say, not ideal. Not ideal for the WNBA, and I'll take a look. So, the WNBA All-Star Game had 2.19 million viewers. Like, we can't forget last year peaked at over 4 million. This, in fact, is less viewership than an average Caitlin Clark game.
The WNBA doesn't need a minor tweak or a little patience, it needs a full-blown identity reboot. Protect the stars. Develop more stars. Fix the officiating so players aren't limping off the court like extras in an action movie. And for the love of basketball, stop pretending that losing half your headline acts isn't a massive problem. Right now, the league is basically a half-eaten sandwich in the fridge, technically still there, but nobody's excited about it. The competitive juice? More like lukewarm tap water in a Gatorade bottle. With the marquee names gone, games have slipped into this awkward limbo where you can't tell if you're watching a playoff matchup or a Tuesday night scrimmage at the local YMCA. You can feel it in the air. Fewer jerseys in the stands, shorter concession lines, and crowds bailing at halftime because the scoreboard is still stuck in the 40s. The energy in these arenas is so low you could barely use it to power a flashlight for 5 minutes.
It should be a straight-up wake-up call. With the ticket prices dropping, and now you see the show, the ratings fell tremendously, and it was an awful game. So that large percent of people who did not watch, they probably had a better Saturday than everybody else. We just got to be real.
Then there's the replacement wave. The next in line athletes have stepped in, sure, but without that star power. It's like swapping a blockbuster headliner for a random understudy. You can't expect fans to instantly bond with brand new faces in the middle of the postseason, especially when half of them don't have signature plays, signature moments, or even recognizable celebrations. The officiating blunders only make it worse. Every questionable whistle not only kills momentum but feels like someone hit pause mid-play to check their phone. You can even hear the strain in broadcasters' voices as they try to sell a routine mid-range jumper as an electric moment. And no matter how many replays they run, you can't fake a genuine buzz when the big personalities aren't there to generate it. The marketing team isn't helping either. Rather than pivoting toward fresh narratives or sparking new rivalries, they're still leaning on highlight reels of absent stars. That's fine for nostalgia, but it doesn't convince anyone to watch games without those players. The promotion is clinging to ghosts while the present-day product keeps fading.
3-point contest or the All-Star game, both of which she was planning to do because of a groin injury. This goes right to the Indiana Fever management and leadership as well. Better know whatever consequences the WNBA suffers from Caitlin Clark not being around, as will you.
On social media, engagement is tanking faster than an undercooked pancake. Where there used to be heated debates, viral clips, and highlight reels flooding timelines, now it's mostly crickets. The occasional big play still pops up, but even those fail to hit the numbers they used to. Without the spark of intense matchups or the charisma of certain stars, the conversation dies, and with it goes the casual fan's reason to tune back in. Sponsorship interest is cooling too. Brands that once saw the WNBA as a rising, energetic product are now reconsidering how much to pour into a league where star power can vanish overnight. It's not about disrespect for the game, it's about the fact that the league's mass appeal selling point has been gutted. The financial hit isn't fully visible yet, but the ripple effects are coming, and they'll land hard if nothing changes. On the court, there's still defensive grit, sure, but without offensive fireworks. The product leans on grinded-out possessions that only die-hard purists appreciate. The broader audience craves theatrics. Alley-oops, deep threes, buzzer beaters, crowd eruptions that make your hair stand up. Right now, the grind-to-excitement ratio is painfully out of balance.